The battlefield was silent. Not the peaceful kind of silence, but the heavy kind that followed great destruction. Broken metal covered the ground. Burned ships lay half-buried in the black soil. Smoke drifted slowly through the air, as if even the wind was tired of moving. At the center of the ruins, an alien knelt alone. His hands were bound behind his back with human restraints. His armor was shattered, cracked open like a broken shell. Dark blood stained the ground beneath him. Every breath hurt. Every movement reminded him that the war was over and that he had lost. He was a Krell, a species feared across the galaxy. Once, long ago, the Krell Empire had been strong. Their fleets had crossed star systems without resistance. Their armies had crushed weaker worlds. And among those worlds had been Earth. Humans had been slaves once. The alien remembered those days clearly. Humans forced into mines. Humans used as labor. Humans punished for the smallest mistake. The galaxy had looked away. Humans were considered weak, short-lived, and unimportant. But that had changed. Humanity did not forget. They learned. They adapted. They endured. And then they returned. The war had lasted only 20 years, but it felt like a lifetime. Human ships appeared without warning. Human weapons ignored shields the galaxy believed were perfect. One by one, Krell worlds fell. Now, the Empire was gone, and the alien knelt in the dirt, waiting to die. Footsteps sounded behind him. Slow, calm, measured. Not the heavy steps of an angry soldier. Not the rushed steps of someone eager to kill. These steps carried no emotion at all. A human officer stopped a few meters away. The alien did not turn. He did not need to. He could feel the presence. Humans had a way of filling a space, even in silence. Every story the galaxy told about humans echoed in his mind. Humans who burned entire fleets in revenge. Humans who showed no mercy to former masters. Humans who smiled as they destroyed worlds. The alien's hearts beat faster. This human had every reason to hate him. The alien had fought in the early days of the war. He had commanded raids on human colonies. He had followed orders. He had believed humans would break easily. He had been wrong. Very wrong. The human officer said nothing. No insults. No threats. No final words. That scared the alien more than shouting ever could. He lowered his head. Death by humans was said to be slow. Some said humans enjoyed making enemies suffer. Others said humans preferred quick executions, efficient and cold. Either way, survival was impossible. The alien closed his eyes. He thought of his home world now gone. He thought of his people scattered or dead. He thought of the humans he once watched kneel the same way he was kneeling now. So this is how it ends, he thought. A soft mechanical sound broke the silence. The human had raised his weapon. The alien's body tensed. This was it. Time seemed to stretch. Seconds felt like minutes. The wind stopped. The smoke froze in the air. Even the distant fires seemed to hold their breath. The alien waited for pain, for heat, for the end. But it did not come. No shot. No explosion. No death. Only silence. Confused, the alien opened his eyes slightly. The human was still there. Weapon raised, but not aimed at his head. The barrel was pointed at the ground. The alien blinked. This made no sense. Humans did not hesitate. Humans did not pause. Humans did not spare enemies, especially not enemies like him. The human slowly lowered the weapon and locked it to his side. Then, impossibly, the human took a step forward and knelt. The alien's breath caught. Humans did not kneel before enemies. Ever. The human reached out not toward the alien's throat, not toward his restraints, but toward a small pouch on his armor. He opened it and removed a canteen. Water. Clean human water. The human placed it gently on the ground, just within the alien's reach. Still, he said nothing. The alien stared at the canteen as if it were a weapon. His mind raced, trying to understand. Was this a trick? A cruel delay? Some new form of punishment? Slowly, carefully, the human removed his helmet. The alien flinched. He expected rage, hatred, satisfaction. Instead, he saw a tired face. Lines marked the human's skin. His eyes were hard, but not cruel. They looked heavy, like someone who had seen too much and carried it all alone. The human met the alien's gaze. There was no smile, no hatred, only control. "You're not dying today," the human finally said. His voice was calm, flat, certain. The alien's world shattered. "Not dying today?" The words did not fit reality. They broke everything the alien thought he knew about humans. "Why?" the alien whispered, his voice shaking. The human did not answer right away. He looked around the battlefield, the ruins, the dead machines, the burned sky. Then he looked back at the alien. "Because," the human said quietly, "someone has to remember what happens when mercy is ignored." The alien stared at him, unable to speak. This was not how humans were supposed to behave. And in that moment, kneeling in the ruins of a lost war, the alien realized something far more terrifying than death. Humans had changed, and the galaxy was not ready for what that meant. The human stayed kneeling. That alone felt wrong. The alien's muscles were tight, ready for pain, ready for tricks. He had learned long ago that humans were dangerous even when they appeared calm. Especially then. The human slowly placed his weapon on the ground. Not thrown, not dropped, placed. The metal touched the dirt softly. The alien's eyes followed every movement, searching for a lie hidden inside the action. There was none. No sudden strike. No signal to hidden soldiers. Only one human. Only silence. The human reached up and unlocked the seals on his helmet. With a short hiss of air, he lifted it away and set it beside the weapon. The alien finally saw his face clearly. It was not young. It was not old. It was tired. Deep lines marked the human skin. His eyes were sharp, but not cruel. They carried something heavier than anger. Something older than hate. Loss. The human did not look away. He studied the alien like someone trying to understand a problem, not an enemy. The alien shifted slightly, chains pulling at his wrists. "Why are you still alive?" the human asked. The alien froze. A question. Humans did not ask questions of prisoners like him. They delivered judgment. They delivered punishment. The alien struggled to speak. You captured me," he said slowly. "You won the war. I am your enemy." "I know," the human replied. His voice was calm, controlled, every word measured. "Then why am I breathing?" the alien asked. The human tilted his head slightly. "Because I want an answer first." The alien's hearts beat faster. An answer to what? The human's eyes hardened just a little. Not with rage, but with memory. "Why did you enslave us?" The question hit harder than any weapon. The alien opened his mouth, then closed it. No one had ever asked him that before. The Krell did not question domination. They believed in strength, in control, in order. "We were stronger," the alien finally said. "The galaxy rewards strength." The human nodded once. "That's what we were told too." The alien looked up, confused. The human stared out at the ruined battlefield. Broken machines, fallen banners, burned sky. "We were weak once," the human said. "We were divided. We fought each other more than anyone else. When your empire found us, we were not ready." The alien said nothing. "We lost cities first," the human continued. "Then colonies. Then worlds." The alien's breath slowed. "Billions died," the human said. "Not in battle. In camps. In mines. In factories built to serve someone else." The human's hands tightened slightly. "My family lived on Epsilon Earth," he said. "A colony world." The alien's eyes widened. "That world is gone," the human said. His voice did not break, but something inside it cracked. Cracked open from orbit when your fleet pulled out. The alien swallowed. "I was deployed elsewhere," the human continued. "By the time I returned, there was nothing left. No cities, no bodies, just dust." Silence returned. The alien felt something unfamiliar twist inside him. Not fear, not pain, guilt. "You have every reason to kill me," the alien said quietly. "Yes," the human replied. The word was simple, honest. The alien waited for the weapon to be picked up. Instead, the human reached for the canteen again. He opened it and held it out, closer this time. "Drink," the human said. The alien stared at the water. His throat burned with thirst, but suspicion burned hotter. "Why?" he asked. "Because you're injured," the human replied. "And because dead prisoners don't answer questions." The alien leaned forward slowly and drank. The water was cool, clean, real. It tasted like survival. The human then pulled a small medical device from his belt. He activated it, and a soft blue light hummed. The alien recoiled. "What are you doing?" "Keeping you alive," the human said. The device sealed wounds, eased pain, stabilized breathing. The alien's vision cleared slightly. His strength returned, just enough to feel the full weight of what was happening. "This makes no sense," the alien whispered. "Your kind is feared for revenge." The human met his eyes. "Fear is easy." He finished the treatment and pulled his hand back. "Mercy," the human continued, "is harder." The alien felt something tighten in his chest. Mercy was not freedom. Mercy was not forgiveness. Mercy meant living with memory. "What will happen to me?" the alien asked. The human stood slowly. He towered over the kneeling alien, but he did not raise his weapon. "You'll live," the human said. "You'll talk. You'll remember." The alien shook his head. "You are letting me go?" "No," the human said calmly. "I am letting you witness." The alien looked up, confused and afraid. "Humans don't need your death," the human said. "The galaxy has seen enough of that." He picked up his helmet and turned away. As he walked, he added one final sentence. "Living with what you did will hurt more than dying ever could." The alien watched him go, his mind shaking. For the first time in his life, death no longer felt like the worst fate. And that terrified him. The human did not walk far. He stopped near the edge of the battlefield, where the ground dropped into a wide crater filled with broken machines and burned stone. He stood there, looking out, as if the ruins were speaking to him. The alien remained kneeling, unsure if he was allowed to move. After a long moment, the human spoke again. "You want to know why I spared you?" he said. The alien lifted his head slightly. "Yes." The human turned back, his face serious but calm. "Because we have been where you are," he said, "and we almost did not survive it." The alien frowned. Humans were slaves. Victims, not conquerors. The human nodded. "That's what the galaxy remembers." He walked back and crouched again, close enough that the alien could see the scars on his hands. Old burns, old cuts, not all from this war. "There was a time," the human said, "when humans nearly destroyed themselves." The alien listened closely. "Before space," the human continued. "Before fleets. Before empires. We fought each other for land, for belief, for pride. We told ourselves it was necessary." The human looked at the alien directly. "We hated so deeply that we forgot why we were fighting." The alien's eyes widened. "You enslave your own kind?" "We killed our own kind," the human replied, "in numbers that almost ended us." The battlefield seemed to grow quieter. "We learned something too late," the human said. "That revenge does not end wars. It only feeds them." The alien felt a strange pressure in his chest. His people had believed fear was control. That pain created obedience. "But humans fought back," the alien said. "You became powerful." "Yes," the human said softly. "After we learned restraint." The alien tilted his head. "Restraint is weakness." The human shook his head slowly. "That is what we thought too." He stood and pointed across the ruined land. "When we returned to the stars, we made a choice," the human said. "We would never become what nearly destroyed us." The alien followed his gesture. Human ships hovered in the distance, silent, disciplined, watching. "When your empire enslaved us," the human continued, "many wanted to burn everything you built. Some still do." The alien believed that. "But if we had done that," the human said, "we would have won the war and lost ourselves." The words sank deep. The alien shifted uncomfortably. "Then why fight at all?" The human's eyes hardened slightly. "Because survival still matters. Because mercy without strength is just surrender." He paused. "And strength without mercy becomes extinction." The alien had no answer. The human stepped closer. "I spared you because killing you would be easy," he said. "And easy choices never change anything." The alien swallowed. "What do you want from me?" The human studied him carefully, as if weighing something important. "I want you to live," the human said. "I want you to see what humans have become. And then I want you to tell the galaxy the truth." "The truth?" the alien asked. "That we could have destroyed you," the human replied. "But we chose not to." The alien felt cold. You want me to be a message, he said. Yes, the human replied. A living one. The alien shook his head slowly. They will not believe me. They don't need to, the human said. At first, he gestured toward the sky. Word will spread. It always does. A captured enemy spared. A war ended without genocide. The alien's voice trembled. This is not kindness. No, the human agreed. It's responsibility. The alien looked down at his bound hands. You think this will change the galaxy? I know it will, the human said. The alien laughed weakly. You sound certain. The human met his gaze. We were once told humans were insignificant. That belief ended empires. The alien fell silent. A distant signal echoed across the battlefield. Human ships began moving. Medics and security units advanced carefully, not rushing, not celebrating. The human stepped back. You will be taken to a medical ship, he said. You will be treated. You will be questioned. And then, the alien asked. And then you will be released, the human said. The alien stared at him in shock. Released. Alive, the human confirmed. The alien felt his knees weaken. No prison. No execution. No chains forever. This was worse than death. Living meant remembering. Living meant speaking. Living meant carrying guilt into a galaxy that would demand answers. As human soldiers approached, the alien realized something terrifying. This mercy was not forgiveness. It was a challenge. Later, as the alien was lifted onto a medical transport, news began to move faster than any ship. A Krell officer spared. An enemy healed. A human refusal to kill. Across the stars, whispers spread. On neutral stations, traders spoke in hushed voices. On border worlds, commanders reviewed reports twice. In distant councils, leaders leaned forward in silence. Humans had ended a war, but they had not finished speaking, and the galaxy was beginning to understand that this choice, this strange, terrifying mercy, might be the most dangerous weapon humanity had ever used. The story spread faster than fire. It did not begin with an official message or a grand announcement. It began with whispers, a leaked report, a single line in a military log that was never meant to be public. Captured enemy officer, alive. Treated, released. Within hours, every major network in the galaxy had picked it up. Holoscreens lit up across stations and worlds. Analysts argued. Commentators shouted. Old enemies leaned closer to their screens. A human victory without an execution made no sense. Humans are losing their edge, one analyst said. This is weakness, another claimed. No, a third whispered. This is a trap. Fear returned, but in a new form. Some species were angry. The Korlax Dominion demanded answers. Mercy invites rebellion, their leaders declared. Humans are sending the wrong message. The virile clans laughed openly. They spared an enemy because they fear him. But others were silent, because something felt wrong. Humans had crushed an empire. Their fleets were untouched. Their weapons remained active. This was not exhaustion. This was choice. The alien, once a forgotten prisoner on a ruined battlefield, now stood at the center of the storm. Escorted by human guards, he was transported across systems to the heart of neutral space. The Galactic Council had issued a rare and urgent summons. They wanted to see him. The council chamber was vast beyond imagining. A ring of floating platforms surrounded a glowing star map of known space. Each platform held a representative of a different species. Ancient beings, warrior kings, cold, calculating minds, and now one kneeling alien. The human delegation arrived last. They did not bring weapons. They did not bring threats. They took their place in silence. The council speaker, a tall being of light and crystal, addressed the chamber. You stand here as an enemy spared, the speaker said to the alien. Explain. The alien's legs trembled as he stood. He looked around at the faces of the galaxy. Some showed anger. Some showed fear. Some showed hunger for answers. The humans stood behind him. They said nothing. The alien realized then he was not being controlled. He was being trusted. I expected to die, the alien began. The chamber quieted. When the war ended, I was captured by a human officer, he said. I knelt. I waited. I closed my eyes. He paused, remembering the silence. The weapon raised. The moment that never came. But the human did not kill me, he continued. He lowered his weapon. He healed me. He gave me water. Murmurs spread across the platforms. One representative interrupted. Why? The alien swallowed. Because he said killing me would be easy. The chamber went still. He told me humans learned something from their own past, the alien said. That endless revenge destroys civilizations. A sharp voice cut in. Lies. Humans are conquerors. The alien turned toward the voice. If that were true, I would be dead. Silence followed. The alien took a breath. The human told me to live, to witness, to speak. He looked toward the human delegation. They allowed me to stand here without chains, he said. Without threats. The council speaker turned toward the humans. Do you deny this? A human diplomat stood. We do not, the human said calmly. You could have erased the Krell completely, another council member said. Why did you not? The human's answer was simple. Because we have done that before to ourselves. The chamber erupted in noise. The alien watched the reaction. Fear flickered across faces that had once looked only at power. The council speaker raised a hand. You seek to rule through influence, not force. No, the human replied. We seek to stop the cycle. The alien felt something shift. This was not about him anymore. This was about the future. For centuries, the human continued. The galaxy has rewarded domination. Empires rise. Empires fall. Billions die. Nothing changes. The human looked around the chamber. We are finished with that. A representative laughed bitterly. You think mercy will stop war? No, the human said, but it will expose those who refuse it. The word struck deep. The alien saw it, then the real fear spreading through the council. Not fear of human weapons. Fear of human example. If humans could choose restraint after winning, what did that say about those who never did? The council session ended without judgment. No ruling. No condemnation. Only silence. As the alien was escorted away, messages continued to spread. On border worlds, slaves whispered about humans who spared enemies. On military bases, commanders wondered if obedience through fear was enough. In hidden chambers, rulers argued behind closed doors. The galaxy was watching, and for the first time, humans were not the ones being judged. They were the ones setting the standard. The alien understood now. This mercy was not peace. It was pressure, and the galaxy was already beginning to crack under it. The galaxy did not calm down. It fractured. At first, the changes were small, quiet, easy to ignore. A mining world refused to meet its quota. A patrol ship delayed an order. A slave transport changed course without explanation. Then the changes grew louder. Across former Krell territories, old control systems failed, not from sabotage but from neglect. Officers hesitated. Enforcers argued. Soldiers asked questions they had never asked before. Why fight now that the war was over? Why obey leaders who promised only fear? Why die for empires that humans had defeated and then spared? The alien watched all of this from a human medical station. He was no longer a prisoner, but he was not free either. Humans allowed him to move, to speak, to observe. They did not hide their systems. They did not threaten him into silence. That frightened him more than chains. Human stations were quiet places. No shouting officers. No displays of dominance. Every movement had purpose. Every order had reason. This was how humans ruled themselves. And now, the galaxy was reacting. On a distant world ruled by the virile clans, a rebellion broke out overnight. Not violent at first. Workers simply stopped. When enforcers arrived, they did not fight. They asked one question. If humans can spare their enemies, why can't you? The question spread faster than weapons ever could. The alien heard reports daily. A border empire collapsed when its client species defected to human protection. A warlord canceled an invasion after his own soldiers refused to advance. Entire fleets stood down, waiting for orders that never came. Humans did not interfere. They did not send fleets. They did not issue threats. They did not claim territory. They waited. The alien finally asked the human officer, the same one who had spared him, why. You could take everything now, the alien said. No one could stop you. The human looked at him calmly. Then we would become the reason the next war begins. The alien felt a deep unease. The galaxy had always believed power came from fear. Humans were proving that fear could turn inward. Soon, the backlash came. A coalition of old empires met in secret. They called humanity dangerous, not for their weapons, but for their ideas. Humans destabilize order, their declaration said. They weaken authority. They invite chaos. Plans were made. Propaganda spread across networks. Humans were labeled manipulators, liars, hypocrites. They claimed the spared alien was an actor, a controlled puppet. The alien saw the broadcasts. He also saw something else. No one fully believed them, because the alien was still alive, and because humans allowed independent observers to confirm it. The alien was invited publicly to speak again. This time, not before a council, before the galaxy. He stood alone on a platform, light from 1,000 worlds watching him. He spoke simply. I was ready to die, he said. I wanted death. It was easier. He paused. The human refused to give it to me. He told them about the battlefield, the silence, the weapon lowered. He told me to live with what I had done, the alien said. And I learned something. The feeds were silent. Fear controls bodies, the alien said. But choice changes minds. The reaction was immediate. On dozens of worlds, old banners were torn down. Not replaced with human symbols, but removed entirely. People did not want new masters. They wanted new rules. The shockwave became unstoppable. Empires that relied on fear collapsed under their own weight. Their leaders screamed betrayal. Their generals found empty command rooms. Humans still did not attack. Instead, they opened corridors, trade routes, neutral zones. They offered protection, but never ownership. The galaxy struggled to understand that. The alien watched as his own people began to change. Former Krell officers surrendered peacefully not to humans, but to their own civilians. Some begged to be judged. Others asked for exile. The alien realized then what humans had truly done. They had removed the excuse of survival. No empire could claim, we must rule or be destroyed, when humans proved restraint was possible. The human officer spoke one night, quietly, as they looked out over a starfield. This is the dangerous part, he said. What is? The alien asked. Change, the human replied. Old powers don't fade quietly. As if on cue, alarms echoed through the station. A fleet had appeared at the edge of human space. Not to attack, to challenge. A coalition broadcast a single message. Humans weaken the galaxy. Step back or be removed. The alien felt fear rise again. Finally, the human turned to him. This is why we spared you, the human said. Not to end war. The alien swallowed. Then why? To show the galaxy, the human said that if war comes again, it won't be because of us. The human fleets began to move, not in attack formation, in defense. The alien understood the final truth. Human mercy had not ended conflict. It had exposed who still depended on it. And now, the galaxy stood at a breaking point. The fleets stopped at the edge of human space. They did not fire. They did not advance. Across hundreds of ships, commanders waited for an order that did not come. The coalition had expected fear. They had expected panic. They had expected humans to strike first and prove every accusation true. But the human fleets formed a silent wall instead. No weapons charged. No threats sent. Only one open channel. A human voice filled the void. We will not attack, the message said. But we will not move. The galaxy watched. Days passed. Supplies ran low in the coalition fleet. Crews grew restless. Arguments spread across command decks. They had prepared for war. They had not prepared for restraint. The alien stood beside the human officer on a quiet observation deck, stars stretching endlessly before them. They are waiting for you to break, the alien said. The human nodded. They always do. And if you don't, the alien asked. Then they will, the human replied. On the third day, a single ship broke formation. Then another. Then 5 more. One by one, Fleets withdrew, not defeated, but exhausted by a standoff they could not justify. The coalition collapsed without a battle. The galaxy exhaled. History would later mark that moment not as a victory, but as a decision. In the years that followed, the story spread everywhere. Not the story of a war, not the story of a fleet, but the story of a kneeling alien who was allowed to stand again. The alien returned to his people, not as a commander, not as a hero, but as a witness. He spoke of humans without anger and without praise. He spoke only of truth. They could have erased us, he told them. They chose not to. Some listened, some resisted, some were afraid, but none could deny the proof. Across the galaxy, new rules formed. Not laws written by humans, not orders enforced by fleets. Examples: worlds rebuilt without fear of conquest. Borders softened, wars delayed, then canceled. Leaders forced to explain themselves to their own people. Violence did not disappear, but it lost its excuse. The alien often thought back to the battlefield where it began. The silence, the raised weapon, the moment that never came. He understood now what the human officer had meant. Mercy was not kindness. It was responsibility carried forward. Years later, the alien stood before a hall of historians' beings from dozens of species. They recorded his words carefully. What changed the galaxy? One asked. The alien did not answer right away. Finally, he said, a human chose not to kill when killing was easy. They asked him to explain. He did. He told them how humans once nearly destroyed themselves, how they learned that survival without restraint meant nothing. How do you fear a species like that? One historian asked. You don't, the alien replied. You listen. The final record was sealed. Humanity, a species capable of destruction and of stopping itself. On a quiet human world, the officer who had started it all stood at a small memorial. No statues, no flags, just names carved into stone. His family's names were there. The alien stood beside him. I never thank you, the alien said. The human shook his head. You don't owe me thanks. You spared me, the alien said. You changed everything. The human looked at the names. I didn't do it for the galaxy. Then why? The alien asked. The human answered softly. Because someone had to prove we were more than our worst moments. The alien understood then what the galaxy had learned too late. Humans were not feared because they could destroy worlds. They were feared because they could win and stop. And that choice made in silence, on a ruined battlefield, became the moment the galaxy would never forget. Because the most dangerous thing about humanity was never its weapons. It was its restraint.